The barbershop has always been more than a place where we go get our hair cut. It's where we go discuss whatever's on our mind. Time now to be at the barbershop.
Oops, you caught me checking out the new bling. Welcome to Rumors and FSN Live at the barbershop. I'm Heather Berry. We've got Jammin' 92.5 co-host Gloria Neal in the house, as well as former Denver Bronco Detron Smith with that big fat Super Bowl bling bling going on in there. So what's the buzz? It's all about the CU firing of Gary Barnett and, of course, Reggie Bush, the Heisman Trophy winner. Stay with us because we've got much, much more buzz in the barbershop.
Welcome to FSN Live at the barbershop. Joining Charles Johnson today is Alfred Williams, David Diaz-Infante, Gloria Neal, Dave Benz, and Kevin the Barber. Tonight's special guest is former Denver Bronco Detron Smith.
Take care of business. That's his only job. His job is to get this program back to winning, and that's all he's here to do. I'm not here to be a public relations guy.
Bring it back now. Time now to be at the barbershop.
What's up, fellas?
Hey,
what's up,
CJ.
baby? What's up, baby? It's good to see you, boy. Hey, what's up? Hey, that's my friend Al. He knows. Al knows. Hey, Sean, how you doing, man? Welcome to the barbershop, man.
Glad to be here, man.
How's everything going, fellas?
I got something stuck in my tooth.
Kev, how you doing, man? Hey, look, last week we talked about this Heisman. I think it's a travesty that this guy, and he's a talented guy, but to get the most first place votes in the history.
Second.
He got the most first place votes in the history of the Heisman balloting. I think that's just flat out nuts, given the fact that Vince Young is as good as he is.
Well, you know, I got.
That's just nuts.
You
man.
saying he won by too much? You'd rather see him win by just a
look,
little?
Man, look. I think
You got to give up on this thing. The best player in college football won.
Well, I got to tell you guys something.
it must be the same people down in Florida.
Unanimous.
The same people who's counting the Heisman votes was counting those votes down in Florida, man.
Hey, if you want to talk who got robbed, yeah. You want to talk who got robbed? Matt Leinart didn't even make first team AP All-American.
He shouldn't.
Vince Young did.
Yeah, but let me tell you guys something.
He should've.
Vincent Young probably should have won the Heisman because not only did he lead his team in rushing, passing, and he led Texas to an undefeated regular season, he also got a head coach fired. How many kids you know like that? How many kids you know like that out there in college football? Yeah, I mean that's brand new
man,
already.
Look, man, it's all fun and games until somebody get. Look, we'll talk about Coach Gary Barnett in the situation. Former Coach Gary Barnett in the situation there. Dave is one of those media guys, man. You one of those media guys.
Wrong.
I don't know if you had a vote or not.
You're one of those media guys.
You're one of those media guys. No, that's my boy. He one of Heisman Trophy. Who did you vote for?
Well, I don't have a vote. I would have voted for Reggie Bush, but Vince Young, I think, should have gotten a few more votes than he did. But Vince Young, he says he's coming back next year, so I think Vince Young will get a Heisman next year.
I don't know, man. I think this guy, I thought he should have been the Heisman Trophy winner, quite frankly.
I don't know how you can't give it to Reggie Bush. This is the number one
MVP, but he's not the best player in college football.
He's
the
not the best
MVP
player.
because without Texas, they're not the same team.
Say that again.
That Texas team is loaded.
No, you're right. You're right. That Texas team will probably have 15 to 20 NFL players on.
So are you saying that's the key to CU's new head coach, whoever it's going to be? It's about recruiting?
I think recruiting first.
Especially with everything else that's going on up there. I mean, you got to have someone that can do it,
You
right?
gotta recruit them ghetto brothers like when they recruited CJ and all that. Detroit. Straight out the hood. And this is
The buzz is all about the Buffs and the CU football program when we continue at the barbershop. Now back to the sports talk at the barbershop.
You know what? They do have to recruit those guys, but another thing they gotta take notice of is the race relations that's going down at the yard. Because I tell you, Gloria, I see this all the time because I got a guy I play Yomana Gibbermichael. I play golf with a lot, and his sister is one of the class presidents up there who had this. This
the letter
issue.
sent to her. That's right.
And somebody's got to go up there and stick up and say something about the university and go with the program and get these guys to go in a better way.
Well, I think it's everybody, but
it's more than that.
And it's got to start from somewhere because let's face it, you start talking about this person receiving letters like the individuals who just admitted they sent that track.
Offensive lineman.
Yeah, an offensive lineman, and then his particular girlfriend. But wait a minute, this has been brewing a while up at CU, and so each round goes higher and higher. So what's it going to take? Is there going to be violence? Is somebody going to get killed at CU before somebody acknowledges there is a race relation problem on that campus?
There is.
Is it
But
campus? Is it Boulder? Or is it
Do you
both?
want to bring that up now during recruiting season?
Yeah,
As a coach?
You know how you do that.
I don't know if I want to bring that up, especially with all the problems they had in the past. But I don't want to bring this up during recruiting season. Another issue that we do have. It's there. You know what? It's there. It's there, and it's going to get handled. But let's not bring it up. Let's not bring it up during recruiting season when we're trying to bring our program back.
But the reason that they have to bring it up during recruiting season is to ensure that we get the right head coach.
Nah, you know what?
You know what I'm saying? And I think right now John Embry is the right head coach for this university right now and for years to go.
I wouldn't bring it up.
Because he's black? Because he's African American? Is that why? Or is that part of the element? That can't be denied.
Because he's qualified, first of all. He's qualified. He's qualified and he's an African American who's paid his due, who's been up for this position
But I
more
don't
than
think
once.
he'll get it. I don't think they're going to give it to a black coach. I don't think they will. And let me back up. You talked about
And healing some of those wounds is that important. Well, then it's got to be part of the consideration. It can't be the only consideration.
I think
but
they
it
will
certainly should
consider
be a
it, but I
factor.
don't think they'll do it. I think it's just another risk, another chance that right now, with all the black eyes they have, they're not willing to take.
No pun intended, huh?
You talked about you've got a lot of love for Coach Barnett, and you talk about that. But in hindsight of everything that occurred, it didn't occur under some other coach. All of the rape allegations, all of the problems, all of the questions pertaining to the funding, you have got to say, okay, you know what, Coach, you may not be the entire issue, but it happened under your tutelage. Bye-bye.
But the question is this. I'm going to get back to the whole race. No,
She got a point.
I want to get back to the whole race.
Yeah, because as a mother, I don't want to send my child to that school. You got all these issues, especially a daughter.
That's why they needed to get rid of Gary. You're absolutely right.
Yeah,
it did happen under his watch, whether he was responsible or not. And here's the biggest travesty.
It's a clean break.
Right. Here's the biggest travesty of the whole situation, though, okay? Gary survives all the scandal allegations and all that. If he had won against Texas and pulled off an upset, or even if he had beat Nebraska, is he fired? Are we talking about this today?
Let me say this. Wait a minute, guys. Let me say this. And I've always said Coach Barnett should either be retained or fired based on how well his team performs on the field. And so, therefore, you can say that there's justification for his firing. But let me get back to this race issue. There's a guy, Bill Harris, who played football in Colorado, at the University of Colorado, from New Jersey in 1960, from 60 to 63. There are guys who played through the 70s, through the 80s. Alfred and I were up at CU through the 80s, through the 90s. Now let me say that. He took a bus from Houston. He took a bus from Houston to Boulder, a real short bus. Now
He had on a helmet too.
But this race issue isn't. It's not. It's the same issue we were dealing with back in the 80s.
I don't
the
think
same
it's
issue.
this intense, though, CJ.
Sure it was,
Sure it was.
CJ, it wasn't this intense.
Guys, look,
of course, I was the 80s, I was the 90s, but that's a whole different topic. But it was not, and it just seems to keep getting better.
I was student body president in 1989 in the exact same issue.
I know you had a lot of other activities.
The exact same issue. We were about the same issue.
Well, wait,
Doesn't excuse it.
Hold on, James Evans, because you couldn't concentrate.
Hey, that's my wife, Flo.
I know that's right. You can concentrate. Look, where's JJ?
But this whole race issue, you gotta admit now, it's gone to a brand new level as an adult. Thinking like Gloria, I got 4 sons, and if they ever happen to be scholarship players, I want this situation righted before I even start thinking about sending my kids to the flagship University of Colorado.
Still to come at the Barbershop, the CU discussion continues, and the best area sports highlights on Buzz Clips. Time now for the Wendy's Do What's Right Play of the Week. At Charlotte on Tuesday, picking a Carmelo Anthony highlight was easy. He had a career-high 42 points. Melo and the Nuggets grabbed the road victory and beat the Bobcats. Don't compromise, personalize. Do a Wendy's hamburger. Do what tastes right.
A little bit of the technical side of the barbershop for you. Anyway, we're back and there's a whole lot of conversation going on. So let's check it out and see what's happening.
Did you guys deal with these issues back down in Texas A&M?
Yeah, we did. And I think a lot of universities do.
We all do. I mean, it's society,
does.
isn't it? I mean, this isn't unique to University of Colorado.
I think to the degree that it's being faced here, I really do not.
You're right. All those issues aren't unique to the university. You make a great point. Whether it's what happens on campus with the rapes, with the drugs, with the racial incidents, with the recruiting, with the use of funds, the documentation of funds, that goes on everywhere.
But Doc, hold on.
But the environment examines it in such a way where it is the most scandalous thing ever.
But we got to speak.
The media's portrayed it and everything, and I think it's been a little bit unfair.
That's right. The media has portrayed it wrong.
True, but unfair.
And we all got to be.
Wait. Don't call the police if you gave me the gun to shoot you with. Don't blame it on the media.
Oh, yeah, I'm gonna
if
tell
you're
you
not
why.
doing wrong, then the media has nothing to report.
That's not true because.
Oh, yes, it is true.
I'm gonna tell you why.
Absolutely, it
You're saying
is
the media is
true.
objective then?
Sure, it is.
No, it's not.
Oh, well, you know what?
Hold
Hold on. When you say the media,
when are
you're
they
grouping
objective?
everybody
Yeah.
together. I know plenty of reporters,
general.
writers,
Yeah, sure.
anchors who are subjective.
Well, you guys in the
and
media
who
are
are
something else.
objective.
Yeah.
Y'all
That's
something else.
important.
He's subjective.
But everybody is not out to get CU. I mean, certainly
But
there
no,
are
wait,
individuals
hold on,
there.
guys, hold on. That's not the point. Let me tell you the problem.
I'm just saying, all these issues show how difficult the environment is up there. How do you heal it? How do you make it better? Because unless you do, this program is not going to be able to recruit like it should. The university's not going to have the same reputation it should, because it's an outstanding school, beautiful place. You should be able to recruit there. Maybe the facilities aren't as good. So how do you make it better?
That's a good
Solutions,
point.
right?
Let's transition to just that. Who should be Al, you said John Embry should be the next coach.
It's got to be John.
And we know John's background for him. Born and raised here in Colorado, Cherry Creek High School, started at the University of Colorado. Now he's an assistant head coach.
Played in the NFL. And you know what? We can't be having this.
Paul Jarrell, too.
We can't have this conversation if John Embry and Eric Bieniemy would have stayed here at the University of Colorado, because they'd be part of a staff now that's fired, because something had to go down, and they went and they improved another program and got them to a top 5 ranking at one point, and now they finished the season at 9-2, getting ready for their bowl game. We couldn't have this conversation if they would have stayed. It was, on their part, it was brilliance. Okay, now they have a chance, both of those guys, to come back. Because you know what? Now I think everybody understands their mettle as football coaches, that they are capable of getting the program back to winning.
But you hear all these superstar names. You ever heard Butch Davis, the former Miami
We're not
Hurricane
recruiting
coach?
Florida.
I understand, but I'm just saying, Steve Mariucci, the former Detroit Lions, just fired
He's not
coach.
the right guy for this job.
Do you think
Dennis
do you think because of what's going on at CU, do you think it's critical that whoever they hire has some sort of deep connection to the university?
I don't necessarily believe in
They need
that.
to understand what they're coming into and
I
address
agree-
the
I agree
issues
with
that
that.
are there in order to make it better.
Exactly.
I agree with that.
I don't.
You don't
I
know?
don't. Nah.
Why not?
You get a guy who don't know the
Because he
university.
won't A&M
You got a guy
to beat
who's
Colorado.
You get a guy who wants to come in here and just take care of business, regardless.
See,
That's
I
it.
agree with that.
Take care of business. That's his only job.
What about Dan
His
Hawkins
job
from
is to
Boise
get this
State?
program back to winning, and that's all he's here to do.
new coach
I'm
might
not
be
here to be
better
a
off.
public relations guy.
The new coach could be better off coming in if it's a guy who's fair and can handle the race relations
Is he
issue.
black?
Black would be great. I got no problem with that.
Give it to
But he doesn't have to be black. As long as he's somebody who's got a history of being able to handle race relations in a positive manner, maybe it's better that he doesn't know about the history of all this junk to bog him down, so he can have a clean start and put the program on the right track.
It's not junk.
Good point.
These are valid issues that need to be addressed because it keeps getting worse and worse.
But you know, the problem is, the reason I asked you is he black, is because we are just dealing with the situation in NCAA Division I football, where there are a disproportionate number of head coaches that are minorities, unlike any other sport, man.
I
and
agree
so,
with that.
therefore,
That's insulting.
It's
That number's
insulting
insulting.
more than anything else to have all these kids, when you look at the field and you look at the field of play, and you've looked at all the guys who've come in the last 25, 30 years, who've come through these programs, who are now coaching at some level, to say that we only have a handful of black head coaches is just not right.
4, and that includes Prince, the guy who was just hired at Kansas State. Now that is ridiculous, the fact that that's the case. Now let me just, I'm gonna wrap this one up right here. I agree. I think John Emery's the guy for the job, not just because he's black. We need somebody who can come in here and can go to Texas and can go to California and recruit
and can
the
coach
top
on Saturday. And can coach on Saturday. And you have to coach on Saturday.
That's right. And there's a blueprint for it. Coach McCartney had all kinds of success doing it. We know what works around here,
Right.
and so there's no sense of getting around it. I just happen to think John Emery is the right guy and the guy who can make that happen.
Detron Smith gets an interesting new do. And as we step aside, here's a look back at some of the best in area sports this week. It's Buzz Clips.
And we're going to a shootout. Joe Sakic with the first attempt on Martin Brodeur, and he gets the glove on it. Backhander missed it.
Four-man rush. Jake drops, looks left, now swings back right, still has the ball in the pocket, throws to the end zone, pass to be caught by Cal Johnson. Did he stay in? Yes!
He missed it high. Missed it. Milan Hayden, and he missed it. Gomez, we're going to sudden death.
Nice steal. Carmelo ahead is Watson. Watson to Kenyon. Yes!
Alex Tanguay, and again Brodeur gets a piece of it. We keep going in sudden death. Saved by Kolesnik. Can he get a shootout goal? No. Breland, save!
4th and goal from the 2. He's hit the line of scrimmage, and down he goes.
We continue sudden death. Save! The dives! Brady moves. 6 for 6 so far tonight. Here's Kolesnik. He wins it! He won it! Vitaly Kolesnik makes 7 saves in the shootout.
More at the barbershop after this. Let's pick up where we left off on FSN Live at the barbershop.
Now, the Denver Broncos. I want to talk about the Broncos. I want to talk about, it's interesting, man. It seems like each week, we get guys, and Al, you got your big old bling ring on, and
It don't mean a thing if
Doc,
it
you
ain't
got your,
that
you got your.
bling.
Hey, I got my belt buckle. I got my belt buckle, and Doc got that 35 cents in his pocket.
Hey, don't be that 72 quarter.
D-Tron over here, man. Sporting this Super Bowl rings, guys.
I gotta get him some love.
I got to tell you guys, after what, 12, 13 games, Dave?
Hey, which bandwagon you jumping
No,
on now?
I'm gonna tell you right
That's
now,
all
man.
I want to know.
I think you guys.
I want to know who it
I
is
think
this
you guys were good, man. I applaud you guys, the biggest Broncos fan around at the time, man. But this team right now at this point is a better football team than you guys were at this point. Back in.
You're out of your rabbit mind.
You know what?
Foaming at the mouth.
I agree.
It's got to be foaming at the mouth.
Doc, look,
Now,
D-Tron.
why, D?
I agree.
Okay.
I've seen Peyton work, and I've seen that offense work.
Who you say, Peyton, or you said the Broncos? Did you say the Broncos?
I said the Broncos is better than you guys were at this point.
The
back when you
Broncos.
guys-
Oh,
Dave.
Hey,
I thought you were talking about the 13.
I've seen this work on television and radio where one guy's antagonistic just to say something stupid
no.
to get people to talk.
Oh, no,
you
no.
must be doing that.
I believe
You
it.
must be doing that.
Their teams, there were some other, I think there's more parity in the league today, and there's more subpar teams. And I think they've been a benefit of that. Now, is this great? Is this a great Broncos team? Absolutely. But I think that back in the late 90s, I think there were a lot more stronger teams throughout the league.
I think this defense is better than that defense that won the Super Bowls.
Let me tell you something. The only way that defense. Now let me tell you something. The only way that this defense is better than the defense that I won those 2 championships with.
You
is
were on the team. You didn't win them. You were on the team.
That I was part of. Okay.
All right.
The only way that this defense is better is that they win the Super Bowl. And then,
I mean,
you know what?
I said
because
to
you
date.
have to have championship.
I said
you
to
have
date.
to be put in championship situations to get a champion. You know what I'm saying? So if they can't go out there and
Hey,
beat
man, that
the
was a
first
profound
round,
statement.
that's right. You have to be put in championship situations to be a champion.
Man, it's time for our segment of the show where we, the new dudes, for my man Detron Smith.
I can't imagine.
He got the nice ball.
Anything but clean.
Nothing
Ever
but
since I
clean.
know him, he's been clean.
You know how I do it.
That Mr. T.
That's all she gonna get, baby.
I think that might work. I think the Snoop Dogg, or that Snoop Dogg perm.
So glowing.
Hey, I always want the little small box.
The little small
that,
box.
You know what I'm saying?
I got to see D-Tron in a mullet also. D-Tron with a mullet, a full mullet, dog, with the curly hair, the whole mullet.
Hey, man, I like to see his nose on your head.
Join us at the Barbershop next week when Denver Bronco Brandon Myree and comedian Sheedrick Garrett stop by the shop. We'll see you next Thursday and Friday back at the Barbershop, only on FSN Rocky Mountain.